Long ago, in Africa, there lived a king. He was so proud of his prized ram and believed it to be the finest specimen in the entire world. One day, the ram was grazing and wandered onto the crops of a local man named Kweku Anansi. Anansi was furious to see the ram eating his crops, and so threw a rock at it to scare it away. However, the rock hit the ram directly between the eyes and killed it. Anansi panicked. He knew he would be in big trouble, but he was a talented trickster and so sat under a tree a while to come up with a plan. While he sat, a nut fell onto his head from the tree, and that gave him an idea. First, he dragged the dead ram over and tied it to the nut tree. He then found a spider and told it all about this nearby tree, abundant with the best nuts he had seen. Finally, he visited the king and declared that the spider had killed his ram, and that he need only visit the tree himself to see the proof. The king was furious.
"Death!"
he cried.
"Death to the spider who has killed my prize ram!"
He then shook Anansi's hand.
"Thank you, Anansi, you shall be rewarded."
Anansi left and headed back to the tree. He warned the spider that the king thought he had killed his ram and put a death penalty upon him. The spider was bewildered. Anansi told him that he should visit the king and beg forgiveness if he wished to be spared. When the king told his wife what had happened, she laughed at him.
Isn't it obvious that Anansi is the killer? He is famous for his trickery. Besides, how could a tiny spider have the strength to kill your prize ram?
The realization hit the king.
"Guards, bring me Anansi!"
Anansi happily went along with the king's guards, expecting that he was due his reward. He strolled into the palace confidently. The furious king charged toward Anansi and kicked him as hard as he could. To everyone's surprise, the hit turned Anansi into a spider. Some thought this to be an intervention from Anansi's father, the great sky god, Nyame, for his son's dishonest ways.